We are 10 days away from the opener. The Toledo Rockets traveled to Kentucky to take on the Wildcats, but we got some breakdowns to do before we get to that. It's the Midnight Blue and Gold Launchpad. I'm Rocket Ryan Brandt.
I'm Pat Jillick, a.k.a. PJ Spiller.
I am Dan Rocket Man Savage.
I'm Kyle W.
I'm Nate the Texas Rocket.
And before we get into anything, Nate, you have a little something you want to talk about?
Yeah, did you guys hear about the new rules for the MAC this year?
No.
Specifically to the MAC?
Yeah, just the MAC.
This is not where I thought you were going.
No, wow. No, I don't. I never heard anything.
You can actually pick a Big Ten team to come on your sideline, and they'll help you with
that's exactly where I thought you were going.
ciphering play calls, and then there's no repercussion for it. So it's fine.
How about that?
Oh my gosh.
Do
You guys are soft.
Do they have to be from Central Michigan?
Can, but it's all up to you. You get to pick any Big Ten team this year. So
Well, Akron's not doing much except playing in, music festivals in the 60s.
That reference has not hit the pod sphere
I haven't
yet.
even edited that episode yet.
We got to leave it in. At least that one part.
It's a little teaser trailer.
Yeah. Wait to hear
Folks,
it.
that's coming up soon.
It's you'll enjoy it. Let's put it that way. So we got a lot to get to. We have some, we're going to look over the defensive positions, go position by position. We're going to do a little fan expectation win total poll review. And first and foremost, we got Tucker Gleason getting on a watch list.
Yeah, he's on the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm watch list, which that's the first time I've ever heard of that. I don't know how long it's been been around.
Is he on another watch list as well?
He's on quite a few. He's on the Maxwell Award watch list,
what I thought.
which is, I believe is just the best player in college football.
Right.
And the Davey O'Brien, which is for the best quarterback.
Yeah.
So Tucker Gleason is getting a lot of accolades here. You've been the starter for a couple years. Him and Parker Navarro, and then I think Finley at Akron are the only really returning quarterbacks in the MAC that could even be really eligible for much. But one of 58 quarterbacks for the Golden Arm. So out of 136, 58. I don't know how impressive that is.
Was DQ on that list?
No, he was not, because it says, well, according to UTRockets.com, he was the only MAC quarterback on the list. So
it's been around since 1987.
Really?
Yes.
Well, very interesting.
Thanks, Nate.
Yes.
I know it's been around a while, but it's not exactly your Heisman. Heck, you got the Sammy Ball Award too, which was won by our very own Gene Swick back in 1975.
Right, and there's been Heisman candidates that have not won the quarterback award that have won the Heisman. And then we saw, Daquan Finn a couple of years ago won the MVP, but not Offensive Player of the Year. Penny Boone won that. So I don't know how that really works, but...
Right. We got a couple of defensive players on the list too, don't we?
Oh, absolutely, dude. We're... the one that I saw that actually is important because, we saw the Shrine Bowl put like 1,000 players out because they're not the premier...
Right, the Senior Bowl.
Scouting one, but the Senior Bowl only puts out a list of 300, and Toledo had 2, and that's Avery Smith at corner, and then our boy Emmanuel McNeil Warren at safety. So 2 out of 300, pretty damn good.
Not bad. We had 2 play last year, of course. Well, 2 went to Mobile. Darius Alexander had a hell of a week, upped his draft stock into the 3rd round. Maxon Hook, he played well in practice, but then suffered an injury, didn't play in the game, so...
Right.
Yeah, so we've been sending guys there for a while now, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I saw another stat on a national podcast this week that the SEC has 160 plus players on that 300 list.
Good Lord.
Right, wow. And I think the Big Ten had just under 70. So
we were lucky to get 2.
Yeah, if you divide it by how many conferences get how many players, Toledo with 2 is pretty damn good.
It is.
Heck yeah, it is. And we did a poll, didn't we, Dan?
We did. Let me pull up the Google machine here, and I'll let you guys know what the hell's going on. All right, so we asked on the podcast Twitter. If you're not following, please do, at MBG Launchpad. How many games are we losing in 2025? Now, the first answer was 0, obviously. 16%, not bad. 1, legitimate loss, 20%. 1 to 3, but we should have 0, 52%.
Oh, damn.
And then 3 plus, 12%. That's probably just Bowling Green fans. I don't know. But there's definitely a stigma here that we got to erase this year. A lot of people think that Toledo's going to lose some games that we shouldn't. 52% of y'all say so. I'm hoping that we're in the 0, obviously, or 1 legitimate loss category, but we're going to see. That was after we posted our season prediction episode, and hey, we had a lot of votes. Appreciate it. Keep voting on our polls, and let's see if we can achieve some of the lower percentage marks there. And yeah, 3 losses might be kind of tough to swallow for a Rockets fan.
Yes, especially this year. A little bit of more house cleaning to do with our notes here. It was announced, I believe, yesterday that Blair has signed a contract extension till 2030.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
Which is amazing. The guy has great forethought. He's got great vision. He seems like a solid leader.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're really lucky to have him, because I thought after his first contract, he was going to be gone.
Yeah, when your deputy ADs and stuff are taking Power 5 jobs, you know that you're doing the right thing.
Right.
The new guys that we have, we just backfilled that spot with. We pulled a deputy AD over from Mississippi State.
Yes, very cool.
You
can't beat them, join them is what his motto is.
Exactly. So very cool. A nice young buck. The sky's the limit, I think, with this athletic department at the moment.
And I like the fact that the new president has come in and has shown a priority, maybe not a priority, but put a big emphasis on athletics. In fact, I'm going to go back.
He spoke with the team today.
Yes, he did. In fact, I'm going to go back and quote the famous Paulie Newman, who once said, when Dr. Jacobs stepped down, I hope this person doesn't take academics too seriously. I hope they're a big sports fan. I think that was the quote that Paulie said. And, you got to take academics seriously, because look at Akron. But I love the fact that Paulie, I knew what Paulie meant, but I'm like, yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, this is kind of an inane anecdote I'm going to throw out, but
yeah.
I did read several articles today. Can't remember who the quote is from, but he said this team is hungry. They are hungrier than I've seen since 2017, and Woodside took them. And
I saw that too, yeah.
And I believe it started off talking a little bit about, the fact that Newton's back, and we've got solid people back in different positions, and we've got a 3-year or 2-year starter quarterback.
You mean Vander Ross, yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, for sure. I am always hyped up for every season, obviously. After 2023 or 2022, we win the MAC championship. We obviously were super psyched. We lose to Illinois in that first game, then we roll on. We're kind of in the bid there for the New Year's Six Bowl. We blow it to Miami. Finn plays like crap. Offensive play calling sucks. We sit everybody for the bowl game against Wyoming. Last year, we still were hopeful, but you lose the whole O-line. There was reasons to be pessimistic. This year, I think everything is on our side.
I've got a question for each of you. When we were at Illinois, you take that one play away.
Yeah.
And we win the game. How does that affect the rest of our season?
I think we won the MAC championship and go on to the back then it would have been a P6 the New Year's Six bowl game.
It would have been the Fiesta Bowl against Oregon. I mean, technically, if you're just filling in Liberty's spot.
Right.
In my opinion, though, I think if we don't get our attitude checked in that game, we blow a random game.
Right.
Which is more, and even more reason why I'm excited for Kentucky, because I think if we lose, we run it the rest of the way.
Yeah, because Kentucky people are talking some smack.
They are. And if we win that, it's like, damn it, what game are we going to stub our toe on? I think the team kind of has that in their head. So, there's a win-loss philosophy with every game, and hindsight's 2020. In that season, yeah, we're 12-0 or 13-0. Yeah, we're New Year's Six Bowl bound. But
I think there's got to be a culture change as far as that comes along, as far as that thinking that, oh my God, is this a game where we're going to blow it?
Which we haven't even had that yet, so we don't know.
Right.
But you got to be thick-skinned. You got to have a mental toughness, and I hope that we can knock off Kentucky in week 1 and then keep it rolling.
Right.
So we'll see.
Sounds good. So to kick this off, we're gonna go through some of the defensive players. In fact, the entire roster, and I think it's only right that we kick it off, so to speak, with special teams.
All right. Yeah. Speaking of special, here's me. Anyway,
Perfect.
I love the fact that I get to talk about the special teams because one of the biggest followers of our podcast is the long snapper's dad.
Yeah.
That long snapper would be Matthew Bailey. This will be his 3rd year playing for the Rockets. He's a 2-year letterman at South Carolina, but then he came to Toledo, and he's been great ever since. Of course, his mom and dad, Michael and Dana. And
Dana's a big listener to the show too.
Yeah, that's right.
She came to his very first game and stopped at our tailgate and said, "I listen to you guys religiously, like every podcast since he decided to come to Toledo."
Yeah, they were trying to figure out something from DeLand, Florida. Is it DeLand? I don't know how to say it. He's told me before, but I've been about 8 pops in by the time he's told me that. So, but anyway, yeah, he's Michael and Dana, great couple, and we always appreciate it when they swing by the bus, and hopefully they will this year. But yeah, what a great long snapper he's been, and of course Stanton Weber, the special teams coordinator, came from South Carolina. And that it's been a nice little combination there between him and Matthew Bailey. Looking at the punter, of course, he's right across the street, basically. Emilio Duran from Ottawa Hills has come in and done nothing but play very well for the Rockets. Last year, averaged 41.3 yards per punt. He had 21 of 60 down inside the 20, had a career high 70-yarder against Central Michigan. And so, he also kicked off, averaged 63.3 yards per kickoff. So, a great player right there, and a guy who really loves playing this close to home, and we love to have him. And then, of course, it was a weird situation last year. We had Luke Pollack as our kicker, got hurt, and then in came a true freshman by the name of Dylan Cunanan. And you know what? He's a kid all the way across the country from Phoenix, Arizona. And you take away that Akron game, which was a heartbreaker for him, for us. I mean, it hurt him more than anybody. But anyway, he had a great year, great season, great freshman year. He played in all 13 games, 71% of his field goals, 15 of 21. Of course, 3 of those misses were at Akron. But man, he came up big in that 6 overtime victory over Pitt in the game above Sports Bowl up in Detroit. He was 40 of 41 on extra points and a season-long 54-yarder against those Dirty Birds from Bowling Green. So he's back again this year. Here's a little something in Annie. His brother Kyle plays football for Charlotte. So how about that?
Well, there's a little Matt connection there with Charlotte, right?
Yeah, Tim Albin going down there. So yeah, I like our special teams, and of course, like I mentioned, Stanton Weber coming in from South Carolina, and what a difference he's made. Just from punt blocks to kick blocks to kickoff returns, just everything. He's done a great job with the special teams, and nice to have him here. And that is your breakdown for the special teams from very special man right here, Rocket Ryan.
No, that's awesome too, and I kind of refer to Mr. Kicker there as Tim Wakefield, because that knuckleball kick he had against Pitt in the bowl game, that 51-yarder that kept us in the game and tied us up at the end. My oh my, that was maybe the best field goal kick I've seen in my life.
Was a doozy.
Dude, we watched it from the stands, and I was like, oh my God, there's no way that's getting anywhere near the goalpost, and it just it was like an asteroid as it didn't turn and went through the goalpost. Oh, amazing. And as history has it, we did win that bowl game. So heck of a player there. We'll forget that Akron game, and who knows? Maybe Jamison Vest or some of our other players got someone coming up their heels here as the best field goal kicker in Toledo history.
You never know. This guy, by the time all's said and done, he could be it. So we will find out.
For sure. Now, as we turn to the actual defense here, who are we going to miss? What players were impactful that we're not going to see on the field in 2025?
I mean, obviously, I think the glaring omissions are the two guys that are in the NFL right now. That would be your third-round draft pick of the New York Giants, Darius Alexander, and then free agent safety for the Eagles, Maxim Hook, three-time captain, three-time All-MAC performer. Those are the two biggies.
For me as a viewer, it's going to be Dan Bolden, just tackling people as an absolute man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Dan was around for 6 years. He like literally missed a season to an injury, and then came back last year, and you just love the way he played, love the way he looked.
It was old school.
He was like an old school looking dude. We had Lance Dixon come in from West Virginia, who also supplemented the linebacker room, and there's a lot of tackles there that we're gonna miss. So I'm gonna cover the linebackers when we get to it, but and just in general, we came into last year too, like Jadarius Perkins was this transfer from, I believe, Florida that we expected big things out of in the cornerback room. And he got injured pretty early and he didn't really contribute that much. So the main thing that we're going to have to really replace is tackles, and then like physical tackles, not like defensive tackles, but then our big defensive tackle, Darius Alexander in the middle. We don't have a 300-pound guy in the D-line this year. So we're going to have to figure out a way to run stop. And I think in week 1 against Kentucky, that's going to be a huge bugaboo if we didn't figure it out in the offseason.
Right. And I believe you touched on it a little bit with the throwback look of Bolden. I would have loved to seen him come out of the locker room first game last year with a giant ass neck roll around his neck.
I think his mullet was like his neck roll.
Yeah, exactly.
Roll it up and get it tight, and there's your neck roll.
It was a hell of a hit here.
Dan Bolden, throughout his career, had 262 tackles, 16.5 tackles for loss, 3 sacks. I mean, that's going to be tough production to replace. So we'll see. But I'll go to safeties real quick. Let me look at that number. Maxim Hook, 356 career tackles, 7.5 tackles for loss, 7 picks, 22 pass breakups. I mean, come on. That's an all-time great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt. 22 pass breakups is insane.
As a safety, too. I mean, dude. But luckily, we got Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. We'll come back to that. But let's break down the DBs first before we get into the other groups. Who's got DBs here?
I do.
All right, Pat, what do you got?
Well, we lost 5 players last year in Blake, Perkins, Reasonover, Holmes, and Garrett. Mm-hmm. And the reason you have never heard their names announced that much, if at all, is because we have Avery Smith, Nasir Bowers, Tyler McKinstry coming back in DBs. We also last year lost Bostic, Hook, and Gellish.
He didn't play.
Yeah, and they didn't play. Hook obviously did, but in that room we've got Jaden Dotton, we've got the man Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, and Braden Alls coming back. I mean,
that was one guy that I was wondering where he's going to get listed this year was Dotton, and they just fully committed to defense.
It looks that way with only 16 tackles.
Well,
he filled in.
Right.
He, like towards the end of the year is when he finally started playing defense,
and he had an interception in the Pitt game.
Yep,
I mean, that's a tall safety.
Yeah, and he's got great hands. So, he knows offense and defense. Like, he's just obviously a team player where he's going to play wherever he's needed. And I love that for Jaden Dotton. We'll see how this year goes, but he might go down as one of my favorite defensive players of all time.
It's really interesting because, I'm sure he's played wide receiver his whole life. So, I mean, switching over to defense, you already know routes, anticipation on footwork, and you have the height and speed. As a full safety over the top, it's going to be very cool to watch.
Well, yeah, and imagine playing Madden, you used to be the guy you'd run a route and catch a ball. Now you get to sit back and just read the quarterback's eyes. It's got to be like heaven as a safety. So the sky is the limit for Dotton. I do want to mention that Jaquan Bostic did transfer to Bowling Green.
Oh, okay.
He didn't play really for us last year, but that just shows our lateral transfers are guys that did not play for us. So
we mentioned McNeil Warren, but Braden Alls also had a ton of playing time last year.
Oh, yeah.
The last 2 years, really.
He led his team in interceptions, I do believe.
He's a ball hawk.
I mean, he was a big play machine.
Yeah, he was all over the field, actually. And if it wasn't Alls, it was Avery Smith or both of them going up at the same time for the same ball.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a look at the newcomers, we've got 2 coming in from Wisconsin in the defensive back room. That's Braden Moore and Amari Snowden. Neither of them had a lot of playing time when they were at Wisconsin. In fact, there was only 2 tackles registered between the 2 of them. But going back to the full DB room, 85% of our tackles made by defensive backs are returning this year.
Yeah.
That's a big number, guys. Tackles for loss, 75% coming back.
Yeah, and that's a room too. You don't really expect tackles for loss, but a little blitz off the edge when the quarterbacks turn the other way. Hey, that can really the drive.
Exactly. And then looking down
as Vince Lombardi once said.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a Packers fan. I'm speaking from the words of old Vince.
That's right.
It's not how many times you fall down. It's how many times the motherfucker tries to help you up.
And you guys are really trying to push that explicit tag to this episode.
Yeah, we're trying to be edgy.
Like and subscribe, folks.
You son of a gun. You sons of guns, you.
But taking a look at the metrics from the safety room, a little bit different coming back. We've got only 41% of tackles coming back, 55% of tackles for loss, and 33% of sacks coming back from the safeties. No real big numbers there except for forced fumbles, and that was not a big number. It was only 2, but it's 75% of our team. So I think I really believe with Smith, Bowers, Fuller, and McKinstry, and maybe even I'm gonna butcher this name, Hayaja Miller.
I think it's Haya Miller.
Haya Miller.
Like Haya.
They signed him a couple of years ago out of Florida, not University of Florida, out of high school. He got in on 1 tackle so far in the last 2 years, but when he first came out, there was a lot of talk about him going to a P5 school.
Yeah,
he was a high 3-star. Didn't get in a lot of action, but he's my sleeper to watch in the defensive backfield.
I totally agree. If you're following like the Instagram for the UT Rockets page, he's making plays in camp, and that's super. Like I'm always looking up they don't have, we have like the most simplest jerseys you could possibly have for practice. There's no names or nothing. Like we're running pennies out there, and I'm always looking at the roster. I'm like, who is that? Who is 87? Who is that guy? And I believe Haya Miller.
Yeah.
Dude, he's a guy to watch.
Well, one thing to consider is he's a redshirt freshman, and I mean, the last 2 years he's had quite the competition of upperclassmen to compete against. So
and learn from.
Well, I mean, it's not like Emmanuel McNeil Warren was really stepping onto the scene much when Quignon was here. It was like Quignon's last year where we finally got to see, we're breeding in the DBs
we're
right now.
Teaching, we're watching them grow.
Well, if you guys remember 2 years ago, for you longtime listeners, Big Play Ben always picked McNeil Warren as the player to watch.
He did.
That's right.
But he actually meant 2 years later.
Just a little ahead of his time.
Right.
Taking a look at the safety room, obviously we lost Hook, Bostic, who didn't play, but we've got Emmanuel McNeil Warren, Braden Alls, and Jaden Dotton coming back, who all saw significant action in the past couple of years. As far as sleepers go, I'm going to go with Nicholas Thompson. He's a sophomore. He was a signee out of the state of Indiana. I believe he may be a redshirt. Had 8 tackles and 1 tackle for loss in the last 2 years. But he's my sleeper. I just thought I'd throw that in.
Hey, a safety out of Indiana, that's worked before here.
I think it has.
It has.
I believe so.
So that's like the back end of our defense. That's what's,
I think
that's our coverall. And if you're looking at the teams that we play outside of, Western Kentucky. I mean, there's not a ton of pass happy offenses. I think teams aren't even going to try.
Right. And if they get creative with their play calling and show some, different coverages, and then last minute they switch out into another coverage, which I think that's the next step for this group of players, is to fine tune them into guys that are going to play at the next level.
I could really foresee teams more trying to expose, like, you got some new faces in the D line, a lot of new faces in linebackers. You're trying to find mismatches, run the ball.
Tight ends.
Yeah.
Across the middle.
Teams are going to test us running. That's what comes to the next group. We're going to talk about the linebackers. And Pat, you got something to say?
Sorry. Just before we get off of the safety room, there is a guy named Michael Anize Ezerim.
So I believe that's Ezram's brother.
I was just going to say, is that?
I think so.
Ezerim, the tight end's brother.
I think so.
Well, then that makes sense.
Yeah, and he actually, in our most recent video from UT Rockets, he had a pick. So, dude, if our fourth and fifth safeties are making plays in practice, like, holy crap. Like, there's not much depth in this conference, especially at DB. I mean, really anywhere in the country.
Right.
Usually one cornerback or safety injury, like, ruins your year. Last year, we saw that with Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. We kind of got down on ourselves as a podcast, and look, Dotton came over from wide receiver and filled the hole pretty damn well. So there's a lot of bodies back there, especially recruiting-wise. We have done a phenomenal job in the backfield.
Well, if you're a defensive back or safety and you see what's going on at Toledo, and there's any question between Toledo and, say, another, G5 team or a low P, P6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever it's called.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you're going to take your shot at Toledo because you're going to play, and there's a good shot of moving up.
Yeah, Nate. Now, the casual guy you see at like Costco or Walmart, do you know who DBU is, and then you say Toledo, and does that like freak them out?
No, you know what I say UT, and then they're like, "Oh, Texas," and I'm like, "No, Toledo. What are you talking about?"
Yeah,
real UT.
Yeah.
A legit UT.
Yeah, as we travel 5 hours this weekend, I hope that when we say UT, they're not referring to Tennessee. That's another one that bugs me. It's like, come on, the real UT is up north.
Yeah.
Moving on to the linebacker room is Dan the Man.
Yeah, Rocket Man's. This is a tough room for us because, we lost basically all of our production at linebacker. And then before fall camp started, Allison, our only other guy that really had, a bunch of snaps last year, like he played basically the second half of Duquesne in Central Michigan, he got injured. So that was one of the first Blade articles of the summer. And so who's the next man up? Well, if the next man up is a guy that's on Bruce Feldman's 101 freaks list at number 36, that's pretty damn good if you ask me. That fella right there is Chris. I'm not Italian, but De Apollonia. Is that right?
Dapollonia.
Dapollonia.
Oh, so I'll dap. All right, never mind. Yeah, Dapollonia. Dude is an absolute hoss. Let me pull up his stats from the freaks list. So he's 6'3", 240. He sprints at 22 miles per hour. He can squat 555 pounds.
Good Lord.
Bench 355 pounds. His vertical is 34.5 inches.
Jeez.
And his broad jump is 10.8.
At 6'3", 240.
A linebacker that has not really played at the G5 level, if you are the 36th best freak in the country, I think we're going to be fine at linebacker, guys.
Yeah, and we get to say his name all the time.
Yeah, Dapollonia.
Dapollonia.
Man, he should. Maybe he'll be in the Italian Bowl in a few years. We'll see.
Yeah. Aspires to more than that.
Fair enough.
Just judging from Mr. Dapollonia's roster picture, it looks like he can do 240 pounds with a neck lift.
Yeah, the dude's got. He's
thick. His neck is bigger than his head.
Yeah, losing Bolden and Barrow is going to be really tough. But we got Sam Smith Jr., a actual signee from us, also playing. I mean, D'Apollonia is also a signee. Gibbs, Kevon Sherman, which is from Hutchinson, that community college that won the national championship last year. We got a bunch of guys from that community college on the roster. So he might be, worth a damn. And then, sadly, Allison's out. But I'm really intrigued with this group because if we can't stop the run and we can't force teams to throw into our defensive backfield, we will be in trouble. And we will know that fast in week 1 when we play Kentucky. Like, we need the tackles, but we also need to keep everything in front of us. Like, it's probably the most unsure room of any room that we have on this Toledo team, let alone defense. I don't really have much else to say besides we're unproven there. So we want to find our next Dan Bolden, our next Lance Dixon, our next Dallas Gant. Hopefully the guys are ready for it, but I trust linebackers coach there. I believe it's Coach Karras, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I trust him.
Any interesting players coming in? Nothing to speak of.
Not really. I think it's going to break the roster. I think we're pretty thin there. I think we got 3 or 4, and then who knows? Maybe a running back will have to switch over. We've been fine with offensive players switching to defense if we really need it.
Maybe Dotton will slide up to linebacker.
Yeah, exactly. He's big enough.
Exactly.
Honestly, it's all going to depend on the defensive line because, most people know the defensive line, especially D tackles, their main job is to keep the guys at the first level. And
right.
Speaking O-line, but Kentucky is going to be the first test because it doesn't matter how many players they had transferred in and out. They're going to have some big boys up front, and that's going to be interesting to see how they manage that.
Right, and nowadays too, your defensive edge rushers are basically linebackers. Yeah, they're outside linebackers.
They have Jeremiah Peters listed as an outside linebacker.
Okay,
but I understand he's going to be in the 3-point stance a lot more than standing up.
Yeah, we'll see there. If that guy's helping you out when you have to take on an offensive lineman that's running upfield, and then Jeremiah Peters has your back, we'll make some tackles. We'll be okay.
And I doubt the 6'4", 226 is still accurate.
Probably not. I don't know how often they redo the weigh-ins.
Right.
But to the defensive line, what should we see this year, folks?
Yeah. Obviously some, big shoes to fill with Darius leaving. And honestly, we had, 4 guys that left. We had Kevin Butler, Deshaun Holt, and DeAndre Reagan all played 35-plus games for us. So a lot of experience that left. Honestly, though, we do have a good amount returning from last year. We have Malachi Davis, Jr., Eshawn Carter, Sr., Martez Pointer, who's hopefully going to fill in for Darius. And then you got Anthony Dunn Jr., who had 4 sacks last year, and the guy who didn't get playing time last year but had a lot of hype around him was Trevion Ford, the transfer from Missouri. So
he was injured in fall camp last year, so we really missed him.
Right. So hopefully he's back this year, and he can be a good rotation guy for this team and get some good snaps. It'd be interesting. We got some transfers that came in. Luce Julien from UMass, expected to be a pretty big role filler for this team.
He had 10 tackles against Toledo last year, so obviously a boss when in this level of competition.
Yep,
5 sacks last year.
So probably a projected starter for him. Avery Dunn from Michigan State. He's a senior coming in. Last year didn't play a lot for them, but in 23 and 22 played quite a bit for Michigan State and was fairly productive. And then an interesting one, this is my kind of dark horse guy to watch out for. Chamberlain Campbell, sophomore, 6'6", 240, coming from Ole Miss. Doesn't really have a lot of playing time, but size-wise, 6'6", 240, coming off the edge.
Long and lean, big boy.
That could be interesting, and obviously SEC talent will take. So
I'll say it right now. He's going to have at least 4 swatted passes this year.
Hey, or he's going to be on special teams on punt block and field goal block right in the middle.
But yeah, like you said, you mentioned it. Biggest thing, I think. We got a lot of 6'4" and up players on the D line. Just you don't have that big kind of gap filler in the middle. But I think Martez Pointer could definitely be kind of take that role on. I mean, it's listed at 290, but let's not kid ourselves. It's bulking season now. He's well up 300. He's probably 315.
I think it's 350 now, guys. He's been eating his Cheerios.
Nate, you still have all your eligibility. Could you
say, you got some eligibility,
walk on this year?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know about that.
You still got that foot. You still got that footwork.
I got 2 plays in me. I'll go goal line only, and that's it. We got 2 plays, 2 snaps.
The jumbo package.
Yeah.
You can always work
What
on
the
your
girls
long.
called them in high school.
That we had a package called the jumbo package.
I did indeed.
And you can always brush up on your long snapping skills in case Mr. Bailey gets injured.
Yeah.
Nate, were you fullback in that?
No, me, and Mason were still in the middle.
Oh yeah, we were still up front.
Yeah. They put somebody else thick in.
Yeah, we just closed our splits and
yeah,
they just put some hoss behind us to run it down their throat.
Yeah, there was no stopping that. It basically was the tush push.
Yeah.
Before it was popular.
Exactly.
Yeah, the last guy on the D line I want to maybe mention is Lucas Lambert Pimpkin. I don't know if you named him or not. Robert Morris guy, 27 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, in the Patriot League or whatever, or the NEC, whatever the Robert Morris is in.
And Robert Morris is at the bottom of their league.
Yeah, but those guys that transfer up, obviously, we're in searching for diamonds in the rough.
Right.
And if the dude has the size and has the footwork, but maybe not like the mindset or whatever it is, whatever's lacking, I trust our defensive line to get it, our DL coach to get in there and be like, hey, this is all you need to do. And then you are a productive starter, or at least, fill in piece. And we know how important it is at the defensive line to have backups that can play, because injuries happen more on the D line. You get a guy that tackles over your ankle or your knee, like it's probably the most injury ridden position on the field.
I mean, just as simple as rotation, keeping guys fresh.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know how many teams we're going to see that are really up tempo this year. Probably not a bunch in the MAC, actually. I know that Kentucky is not one of them, so that will actually help us. We'll be subbing freely, and they'll be like, "Who's this 6'4", 260 guy coming in that's way faster than me?" But again, we'll get to that next week when we preview Kentucky. One thing I do want to just a little preview nugget. Wohlschlager for Bowling Green offensive line last year is in the middle for Kentucky. So while you ramp up that hate for Kentucky we got 9 days before football starts, just remember we're playing Bowling Green in the trenches. Just remember that. It's going to be important.
That doesn't get you all fired up. Nothing will.
Exactly.
Well, guys, what do you think? Is it time to Pat? How do we wrap this up? I'm never quite sure on what to say here.
Let me see if I can think of it. Let's put a blue and gold ribbon on this bitch and call it a day.
Hell yeah, let's go.
I like it. All right, next time we talk to you people out there listening, it'll be Kentucky week, and I cannot wait. With everything going on this year, it's going to be fun. Chance at a possible playoff bid. I don't know, man. It all starts in 10 days. And that'll do it for this week's edition of the Midnight Blue and Gold Launchpad. I'm Rocket Ryan.
I'm PJ Spiller.
I am Dan Rocket Man Savage.
I'm Kyle W.
And I'm Nate the Texas Rocket.
Have a good night, everybody. Go Rockets. TOL.
EDO.